Good morning, everyone. I'm Basma Dawwas from Digiconnect, a division of Great Minds Group. I welcome everybody to Open Banking, opening up new opportunities, executive boardroom. I would like to first thank our presenting partner, Clayfin, who have helped us in shaping up today's program, and I thank our expert speakers who have joined us today.
I'm very pleased to welcome you all to this very interesting and topical session, which is around open banking. We believe that this is not only relevant to the banks, but the entire ecosystem around it. And as we have observed during our course of interactions, it finds amongst the top category of to-do projects in some form or the other at every bank, depending upon where that country is on its journey to open banking. I believe one of the key reasons that has accelerated is the increased adoption of digital across various industries, right? So digital has broken the barriers between industries. We see the banks kind of getting into the shopping and portals. We see Amazons of the world, the Apples and the Googles of the world coming into the payment space. So there is a lot of barriers that are broken with digital coming into play. And we'll see in terms of how this is kind of going to affect open banking as panelists kind of dwell on this topic.
Now, the interesting thing about this open banking is that it is creating a major change and transformation in banking. It's actually forcing banks to think, as to how they view their customers and move from traditional banking models to a customer-centric model. And that is a big change. What is your view on open banking and its potential? As someone, all of you have been involved with this in some way or the other. So it would be great to hear your views.
This kind of a platform which is on open APIs. So I think that'll give about a lot of new use cases that will come up on the lending, wealth management, or personal finance management, and I think it will give opportunity for more scalable and more operationally efficient solutions. So I think that's how I see it going.
If you see these days, banks are providing dashboards. So you log into your account, you log into your digital account, and you see that how much are you earning and how much are your expenses. You go down to telecoms, you see dashboards where they tell you how much hours are you using for the voice and how much data are you using. So it comes down to optimization, and that is where your financial health lies. And that's how this is an opportunity to cross-sell. And I think with the collection of APIs that we have at this time, and how we can really interact with each other, and how we can exchange data with each other, does start from customer centricity. And I think that's where the opportunities lies. I see a bright future, but I still see that with respect to customer experience, the ideas that we talk about really we need to see them on the ground.
We are already integrating with some cloud services within UAE using open APIs, of course. So I think, I would say the future is already here. So regarding open banking, it's been here in Dubai. Yeah.
The huge amount of convenience, this open banking is bringing to the customers, right? Of course, there are challenges. There'll always be challenges, but I think in India, at least, we have been attacking them in a very, but I look at them as opportunity. And I believe, it's just going to explode the banking industry or the reach of banking to the last mile or to the grassroots people.
How do you build the confidence, which Paddy also referred to strategically as a banker, to address the security and build the confidence? I mean, they're kind of correlated.
Yeah. Open the world, but of course, this openness will come with monitoring. So may that be telecom companies, may that be banks, may that be supermarkets. It is all coming at a cost of monitoring. We are all going to be better monitored. The compliance measures are going to be better. And I think it is all going to be for the best of profitability.
There are many banks I know in the region who are not opting for it. Even the banks are very much, not in that security line where they don't have these security systems in place. But for us at Sharjah Islamic Bank, we already have a central authentication system. All our systems are well secured, and we have already integrated with UAE Pass, and we are already onboarding customers. So that itself, says a lot, that which are the banks, which are the industries which have already partnered with the government organizations to use open API. So it's more of an open API thing, not an open banking. So we have made our bank open with open APIs.
Create a trust environment. So what happened on the technology front is the entire APIs were defined as standard APIs, which also means that the consent itself was defined as a common standard structure, and that allowed interoperability between various financial institutions.
If it is possible, I was interested in the use cases that, can a particular bank be known for its open banking, or is it going to be always the other fintechs or the third parties?
And bottom line, it all comes down to customer experience. So whoever can predict the customer experience, they can predict what we want and when we want it. So the moment of truth, they can predict it. So yes, I presume that we are in a place where we yet have to see the data companies become big in financial industry.
So to add to that, I would also like to give a good example what we have done at Sharjah Islamic Bank, and maybe Pulkit, it would be a good scenario for you. You asked about a use case, so I would rather give you a use case which you could implement at NBK. You are from India, right? So I don't know, how do you transfer funds from NBK to India? Imagine if you could receive your funds in India within a minute of transferring it from your account in NBK to any bank account in India within a minute. Now that is possible through an open API.
Yes, there are early adapters of open banking, but there's a vast majority which are hesitant, which are conservative in coming in it. And what happens is regulators can make it possible. So if you look at it from the Middle East perspective, what's been happening is the regulators are becoming stronger. The regulators are making policies which can convert the non-users into users. So with due respects, but I think I have a different perspective from Pulkit on this, because the whole philosophy of market share expansion is to sell to the people who don't want to buy, because early adapters would very soon come to jump on the open banking platform. But what about the people who don't want to buy it? So these are the non-users. So only regulations and policies can help you convert the non-users into users.
Mashrak was big on digital transformation, engagement of customers, creating open APIs, and using them to try and engage with customers and other banks. Now, unfortunately, at that time, the banks were not of a view that they should share their customers' data even if the customer gave consent. So we actually did start, we reached out to banks to say, let's share information based on customer consent and try and give them the benefits of open banking. And it could be with any bank. So, they could be with, do it through us, they could do it through Emirates NBD, they could do it through Rack Bank, anyone. It didn't quite work out. And in open banking, one of the big challenges is interoperability. So it is very important that the communication, the APIs, security standards, these are all well established so that the handshake between two banks happens properly.
For any enterprise to succeed, right? So it has to become a verb, right? So if you look at it, and we have the conversation. Initially it was people used to call. I'll message you or I'll text you, right? But once Facebook came, Facebook became a word, right? I'll Facebook you. Right? WhatsApp came, it became a verb. I'll WhatsApp, I'll Telegram you, right? So that becomes a measure of success, right? So when an application becomes a verb, it means that it has reached a critical mass of usage and people are actually in love with the product, right? So that's one example. When it comes to open banking, drawing the same parallel in India, at least if you look at it, when I go to a shop, right, I don't tell I'll pay you money. I'll tell I'll Paytm you. I'll tell I'll Google Pay you, right? I'm saying I'll phone pay you, right?
Who owns the data, customer data? And so for that, we have to come with quick, attractive solutions for the customer. And typically, having been a CIO of a bank, I have to admit that the speed with which banks move is not always optimum. So they work with startups. You've heard of examples to actually get quick solutions for significant parts. So with the data belonging to the bank and solutions from fintechs, you've got a unbeatable mix. So the way banks work will also change.